It's Finesse, and I'm in Whittier, California right now, and it's been raining all day. It's actually been raining all week. Yes, it does rain in California. That's why I got my umbrella with me. And people still go to the club in the rain. I do, so I'm sure everybody does. But right now I'm standing outside the Sage nightclub in Whittier, where tonight they're hosting guest DJ Vida V. I'm gonna go inside right now and get out of this rain, and I'm gonna get some shots of her doing her thing. It's really dark in there, but I just want to give you guys a look at what she does before she talks to you about how DJing is out here on the West Coast.
I'm DJ Vida V in Los Angeles, repping for all the Latinas. I grew up in a small town. Shout out to Paso Robles, California. It's not that far from LA, but compared to LA, it's a little pinhole on the map. It's about, till this day, it's still about 30,000 people. So compared to the 6 million in Los Angeles, it's a big difference. Unfortunately, there wasn't much room to learn, to grow, to do a lot, so I came out to LA to pursue my dream.
And that's, your dream was DJing?
Yeah, it was, in high school. It's cool, because out here, like, I go to different high schools, and they have, like, mixers that will come from, like, radio stations and DJ during their lunchtime. We didn't have any of that. We didn't even have a radio station. So, the first time I saw a female DJ was DJ Irene. If any of y'all know who DJ Irene is, she's old school back in the day with Richard Humpty Vision. It was back in '95. And I went to Salinas, which was the next biggest city from where I'm from. And that's when, like, the rave scene, well, rave scene's big again now, but back then, that's when I first learned about the rave scene. I was in high school, and we went out to the all ages rave scene. I was young, and saw the first girl DJ, and I was like, oh my god, there's girl DJs. I didn't know, because there was no DJs in my town, there was no radio station that had DJs, we didn't have no clubs, our city was like 2 exits, like, you know, it was really small, so, but I always considered myself like a DJ, because I would go out. Fortunately for me, I had family in the Bay, and they had KML, and they had Wild 94.9, and I would get up on all the, you know, new music and what was playing the stations, and then I would go and find out who the artists were and go to the local warehouse, which don't exist anymore.
I know, it's crazy, right?
I know, like, okay, now I'm starting to feel old. But I would go to the warehouse and go buy the CDs and then make my little mixtapes. And then I bring them to the parties. I would really map out each song. I would lay out all my new CDs, put down the songs I wanted to put down, record them one by one onto a cassette. We didn't have CD burners, and I would play them in my car. Everyone would be like, who's that? Who is that? You know, invite Vida to the party, like, she has all the cool music, you know? So I got invited to a lot of parties.
What type of spots do you DJ at?
I do a lot of different things as far as DJing. I do clubs. I've DJed in Hollywood, the Valley, OC. I've even gone as far as almost to Mexico.
Damn.
I have yet to DJ in the Bay. I haven't gotten there yet, but I do want to one day. Mostly locally, I DJ. I've done malls. I've done events at local stores in the malls. I've done shows with my girl Lala. We've done shows all over Southern California and the Bay, at different arenas with a lot of different artists. We've opened up for Baby Bash, Pitbull, E40, David Banner, some of the bigger names, and then we've kept it, you know, we've done a lot of stuff with more, like, local artists.
Is the female DJ world big? Is there a lot of female DJs?
It's growing. It's definitely growing.
Is there a lot of competition?
I don't know, because I'm not gonna say that it is not competition, but at the same time, like, say you have 1,000 male DJs, you might have 30 girl DJs. So, and what I've noticed differently from females to males is there's definitely a lot of competition between male DJs. Sorry, excuse my voice. But with girl DJs, it's all love. You know, when I started, there was probably like 5 I knew of. In the last year, there's probably about 30 now. And like back in 2005, when I started, I only knew of like 5 in Southern California. So over a 5-year span, like, it's definitely, I mean, I don't know, 5 to 30 still isn't a big jump, but it's definitely becoming more like popular. But the thing that's cool is, like, all the girl DJs I know, they're not out there to be like, just because they're a female, I'm a DJ. Like, they're actually out there for the passion, for the love, you know, for the turntablism of it. They actually, you know, it's their life, you know. It's like how I feel. It's my passion.
How do you decide what music you spin? Is it just what's hot at the time?
You know, I play a lot of music because of what I like. I have played music at clubs. I'm not the big house electro head, but I mean, electro and house is big, and so I've kind of switched over genres. Like, I'm not a house electro DJ. I'm a hip hop DJ at heart, and that's what I'll always be. That's my main genre of music. But like, I've switched over just to, you know, you have to update with times, you know, with how music transitions go. And as far as local artists, it's like, I'm a big supporter of West Coast artists, of Southern California artists. If they have a club record, I'll test it out at the club to see if people like it. I'm not discriminative. But again, it's like, I play music I like, so if it's a hot record, it's a hot record, you know. I don't play everything that I like, so, you know, if you have requests, I'll play it. But, you know, like, I'll test out records at, you know, clubs and see people's reaction. And if they're feeling it, I'll let it play longer. If they're not feeling it as well, then I might switch it out shorter.
Okay, because I know a lot of times I've been outside of the state, and you know, let's say Houston, and you won't hear any West Coast music. But then out here, you'll hear like all Houston's music, you know? Why do you think that? Why do you do that out here?
You know what I think? This is my personal opinion. Like, I went to the Palladium, and there was a concert that Common was having. It was a benefit. And he had all East Coast artists. He had Nas there. He had, I think it was, God, hold on. I'm trying to remember who was there. But, I mean, there was not one West Coast artist there. It was, like, everyone from, like, down south to the East Coast to, like,
and he was out here?
Yeah, I was at the Palladium in Los Angeles and Hollywood, and I have never been to a concert in my life where I've seen so many people go crazy at a show. And you have to think, okay, we're in Los Angeles, we're on the West Coast, there's not one West Coast artist at this show, but people were so live and going nuts. But then I was thinking, like, if you were on the East Coast, would you have a Snoop, Dre, you know, like, concert, like Mac 10, Ice, you know, everyone, and be that live? I don't think so. So, you know, I kind of question myself. The contrast is different. I definitely agree. There is a major difference. You're not going to find an all West Coast show out on the East Coast. It's just not going to happen. So, my personal opinion about it is, I think people in LA just love music and definitely rep West Coast and support our West Coast artists, but at the same time, they like the other, you know, cultures. They like the other genres. Like, they get into it, where other places, I don't want to say they have something against us, but they don't get into it as much. They, you know, they're kind of like, oh, you guys are West Coast, so, you know, stay in your lane. This is my DJ setup. So for all you at home, my turntables. I have Newmark turntables. This is my mixer. It's my Rain mixer. And my Serato. My computer's not here, but, you know, my computer would be right here. And I gotta keep it with girly. Gotta keep it with my purple Serato records. My favorite. And then I have my Q-Bert needles, which are really good for mixing. And basically, when, you know, when I come in my room, my practice, or I'm making a mix, I have my recorder hooked up to my mixer so I can record my sets. I record it here, and then I'll track list it in the studio.